As a millennial myself, there is a lot of ways where I do not really necessarily understand Gen Z. And whenever I try to give an advice, it sounds like an old person talking to a young person, and I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, it's back in the day when you see your parents trying to work on those screens, on those phones, and you're like face palming and thinking, oh my God, they will never learn our ways. I feel like the same is happening, and especially with standards and double standards. So let's check out the worst Gen Z double standards.
Double standards. We've all experienced something in life that just wasn't fair. And there were probably some points in life where you got the more favorable outcome. And what a double standard is, it's a principle set in place that highly benefits one person and then leaves another person in the shitter. I wouldn't have gotten this video idea if it wasn't for Tommy NFG, so the link to his channel will be in the description. Whether you're at school,
what did he come to you and give you a title?
Dating game, there's a lot of shit that's going to be unfair. Now we need to start with being short versus being tall. Now, unfortunately, you can't really do much about this. I mean, there really are some motherfuckers out there that get height surgery.
That's crazy. They get the height surgery and they're like this much, this much. I mean, I understand if we're talking about something else that is much bigger, but for height, come on.
Crazy. They'll get some metal rod inserted into their leg. Now, I'm not short myself, okay? But, you know, sometimes when you're short, some people will not take you serious. The amount of times people will clown you, give you a little head pat and be like, oh, you're getting up there, buddy. Even like your family clowns
I know.
you. Like that's some shit your uncle would say to you.
By the way, it's not only for men. It's sometimes for women too. Yeah, sometimes when I'm fighting with some people, they call me a dwarf. They're so mean. They're like, oh, dwarfy, what are you on about? What are you talking about? And they rub my head. It's not nice. It's really belittles what I think, and my thoughts matter too.
The function. But they're also making a bunch of products that, like, quote unquote, increase your height. I guess they just make you appear
my God,
taller.
Do not
like, I found these height boosting shoes on Instagram. But I feel like if you wore shit like that, people are gonna clown you even more. Because when it comes time to take your shoes off, you're suddenly gonna drop like 4 inches. But especially like those height boosting heels on TikTok. And plus, if you wear these, you're probably gonna trip in public, which is even more embarrassing. But when it comes to dating as a short guy, even if you are above the average height, which is like 5'9", 5'10", some people will still not accept that. Like, you gotta be as tall as the Green Giant or else it's over. You're done. Like, some people that are like, say, 5 feet tall are gonna say like, oh, I need somebody that's 6'4". Like, they're almost a whole 1.5 feet taller. But at the end of the day, I get it though. You know, people have their preferences. But me personally, that just wouldn't work for me. I just don't see the vision here. Like, I'd have to look way down at them every time I gotta talk to them. And this also happens to girls that are taller too. Same type of thing. But when you're tall, motherfuckers act like you're an NBA prospect and you just gotta get ready to be drafted. Because if you don't, it's just wasted potential. The NBA is calling your name, especially if you're over 6 feet. People are going to expect you to play basketball. But next, we got to talk about being ugly versus being pretty. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of double standards that take place here. Like, if you're a more attractive person, people are going to treat you a lot better. You know, especially when it comes to shooting that first shot or flirting or whatever. I'm just going to make an example hypothetical. I'm not saying everybody does this, okay? But if a guy hits on a girl and she sees him as a 10 out of 10, vice versa, it's fine. But if you go up to her and she sees you as ugly, oh, she's calling the cops now, bro. It's over. And sometimes craziest part is some motherfuckers will film you. People will flame you in the group chats. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a on the internet thing because that's just what seems to go viral.
Yeah, and people on the internet are so much meaner. Like, they're hiding her. Like, bruh, do you own a mirror? Look at yourself. Open your eyes.
Or just stretching the truth, saying they got harassed at the gym or some shit, even though bro just asked if you were using a machine.
Oh my God. Oh, these women who, this is actually a real problem. And now it's starting at the gym and just, I don't know, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse. But all of these gym women are making content, or influencers, fitness female influencers. Yeah, I think that's how we're calling them. They figured out that they get the most trending videos and clicks by actually pretending that they are getting harassed at the gym by men, because they get the most views and then they get attention to their social medias and clicks. And they do it on purpose. Now they bait. men at the gym with that. So I feel like it's really difficult for any man to even approach a woman or say anything or be in any proximity to another woman at the gym at this point, because they are so terrified of being exposed for things that they have never even intended to do. And not only that, a lot of them even like get a really bad image. They end up losing their jobs, their girlfriends, their marriage. Like it's terrible. It's really, really bad.
People in the comment section that said, "Oh my god, this is harassment, unbelievable." That's why I'm a little bit nervous to approach people. You don't know what kind of person you're gonna have to deal with. Most people are nice and down to earth, though. You're occasionally gonna meet some crazy people, though. But another place where pretty people seem to thrive is Instagram or TikTok. Like some girls and
Social
guys
media.
like do some videos where, like, I don't know, a girl will do some TikTok dance and then a guy will do like some cringy ass thirst trap video, and then a month later he's a social media sensation. He's getting brand deals. He got millions of followers just because so many people find him attractive. But if a dude that people think is ugly is doing the same shit, nah, it's over. Say goodbye to your digital footprint too. Now you are on camera, swinging your goddamn feet in the air in max resolution.
And honestly, this is not only a Gen Z double standard. I mean, now it got worse with social media, of course, but this is something that has been forever. If you look nice, pretty, and if you're hot, you get to do much more. People kind of don't criticize you as much, and they don't really like look at the details, you know, and they think what you're doing, even if it is cringe, it's cool because it's coming from someone who's hot. And I hate that so much because I feel like hot people or pretty people have it so much easier in life. Others have to work so much for it. And I'm not gonna say ugly people have to, like even normal people. I'm not ugly. I'm not handsome, pretty, but I'm not ugly. I think I'm normal. And I did have difficulties as a normal person. Like, it's not as much as I think other people, but also I didn't have it easy. I didn't have it easy in life. And sometimes you really compare. And then you like look at people who have it easier and you think, oh my God, just because they look a certain way, they have it so much easier. You know, like if you look at the Kardashians, for example, or the Jenners or whatever, you're like, for what? Just the way they look? And not only the way they look, they bought their looks, by the way. It's not they were born like that. Oh my God. And it's a harsh world that we live in. It's really difficult.
Goodbye to any job you wanted in the future, bro. It's gone. Now we gotta talk about being the oldest sibling. All right, listen. If you're the oldest sibling, you are getting reprimanded to hell, bro. Your parents are not letting anything slide. You're their first kid, so they're gonna make sure that everything goes right.
They literally,
that you're a fucking doctor that went to Harvard. You live in a nice suburban home with a family.
Oh, sweetie, that's
and
also with millennials.
They want everything to be perfect.
I'm gonna tell you something really funny, but this is between you and me, okay? Don't tell it to anyone. I have a sister and a brother who are older than me, and my mother really tried, and my father, but mostly my mother, my parents, okay? They really tried to make my brother become a doctor, and then they really tried to make my sister become a doctor, and both of them really excelled at school, and they were really smart, but none of them ended up being a doctor. Now, when my turn came, I asked my parents, do you want me to be a doctor? And then my mother just smiled and said, no, you're gonna become my actress. You're gonna be an actress. I'm like, interesting. So I don't think they really believed in me becoming a doctor, not even from day one. And I don't know if it's like they just failed twice and they're like just gave up, or it's personal. I feel like it's personal.
Bit of an over-exaggeration, but you get it. Me and my brother were twins, so we were born on the same day, and we didn't have any younger siblings. We were both raised at the same time, and yeah, our parents were kind of overprotective sometimes. Like, I would always have to leave sleepovers early. I couldn't stay at my friend's house to sleep over until I was in like 6th grade. So I have some friends that are the oldest in their family, and then I have some friends that are the youngest. And the people that have told me they're the youngest sibling, a lot of times they tell me parents are like super laid back with them and they really don't care what they do, because as the oldest I couldn't even do anything on my own. Now that I've entered adulthood like a few years ago, I can pretty much do whatever the hell I want now. So it does get better when you get older, but some parents are too much of a helicopter parent. They don't know how to let go, you know, because the oldest for them is like a fucking trial run. They don't really know exactly what they're doing yet. They kind of,
but they're trying their best
as they go. So of course that's why they're going to be like more overprotective, and sometimes they will favor favor the youngest child. They'll let them do anything. Like, say the youngest child smashes a plate or something. Oh, he's just a little rambunctious. But if the oldest kid had the urge to just fucking throw a plate on the ground, he's grounded, he's losing his Xbox, he's losing his phone. Now he's locked up in solitary confinement. While the youngest kid, nothing happened to him. He left that situation scot-free. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but those are just experiences.
I was the youngest, so
having a younger
I
sibling.
got it.
Okay, now we gotta talk about being fat versus being skinny. My experience.
I effing hate this one the most. I hate it so much. And this is so true, you guys. It is so, even with celebrities, even with like, what is Baby Rexa, her name is? Like when she gained weight and she lost a lot and now she's trying to like lose the weight and people are starting to pay attention to her again. And I'm thinking, man, how superficial are we? And it is so true. It is, as a person also who has been dealing with weight gain and loss my whole life and not PTSD, PCOS, I know that. I really know how difficult it is. And I hate it. I hate because I know when I was at my fittest, how people would treat me and how they treat me at with my weight gain.
Of being fat in elementary school, people just absolutely cooked me. And I was just getting roasted like no tomorrow. And I mean, I was kind of asking for it. You know, my diet was horrible. Like I was eating Oreo cakesters almost on a daily basis. And every snack I saw in the aisle that was either sweets or just junk food in general, I would want to put that shit in the cart. We would be leaving with like $300 grocery store orders because of my fat ass. Half the damn cost was due to my snacks. So I would just look at an item and be like, please, can we get this? Please, can we get this? My parents tried to instill healthy eating habits in me, but it just didn't work. As a result, I went to school and I just got cooked. That's what happened. But I feel like nowadays, when there's somebody who's a girl that's fat, that's getting made fun of, a bunch of people like to point towards body positivity. But as a guy, you remain the ass crack of the joke. It's one thing if it's just a joke between friends, but sometimes you're literally just always the joke and it's mad annoying. But if it was my friend that was like constantly getting joked about, yeah, I would feel bad for bro. Because I wouldn't want to hear shit like, oh, I ate all the snacks or I caused an earthquake every day either.
And not only that, like as a person who has more weight, you always think that you need to have like a personality that is more out there. Like you either need to be the funny person or you need to try harder because simply being you is not enough and that's how you feel. And it's really sad and terrible and the society is not helping with that. Like it really is delivering that message to you every single day. So I really think it's such a bad society and such a bad world we are living in where people are so superficial when it comes to weight. So superficial. And this is not a Gen Z thing. It has been always there. It's instilled in us in the 90s. I remember when it comes to magazines, somebody gains 2 kilos from celebrities, they immediately shame them. They put them on like the first page and they pretend that they're fat when they're literally skinny. Like it's also for women a lot. It's so much more for women, you guys, and men. Like, yeah, I think fat guys could have it more difficult in other things nowadays, at least. But back in the day, it was almost the same for everyone. And not only that, there are no like chubby guys, all right? There's like fat guys or fit guys or skinny guys, but there are no like, hey, I'm a chubbier person. But when it comes to women, there are chubbier, thicker, fatter, overweight, obese. You know, like there are these things that women really detail on, and it is very tiresome. It is very tiresome. When a guy is like just fat, I'm fat, you know, and everybody's like, okay, you're fat. But like with a woman, it's more complicated and I really dislike it. I really dislike all of it.
Like Queso, for example, he plays into the joke, but I'm sure he gets tired of it at some point.
Oh, definitely.
Especially when there's like thousands of
and like I'm sure Casio made it into like his career. I'm the fat funny guy with a really obnoxious funny personality and the joke is me and me being fat. But I am sure at the end of the day, it doesn't make him feel nice. Yeah, he's getting the money out of it. So that kind of makes him feel like, okay, like I am at least earning money and I'm working on my future with it. But at one point when he does earn enough money and like buys his dream house or whatever, I think he's going to reflect and be like, okay, now maybe it's time to treat myself better and love myself more. And saying those things and being really mean to me and my own body, doesn't feel right. At the end of the day, it doesn't feel right, and nobody should do it.
Messages. And there's also some people that just go way too far and just say shit that's just uncalled for. Okay, but next we got to talk about your boss having bias. Now, of course, in some work scenarios, your boss picks favorites, or they just pick people to screw over for whatever reason. Like, for example, you take a little extra time on your break for the day because you were working hard, all right, you were slaving away in that damn office, and then your boss is on your head for going 1 minute over your break. Oh, the favorite though, oh, he could go 10 minutes over his break, and no one gives a f. They act like in that 1 minute they were about to lock in this crazy deal that was gonna make the company millions of dollars. When I was new at my supermarket job, people did not like me, all right? They were finding any reason to get on my head. And I mean, I sucked ass at my job, so you know what? It was kind of deserved. But sometimes they just yelled at me for no reason. Like one time I wanted to call in sick, and it's not like it was a reoccurring thing. Like I constantly was calling in sick. I felt like I ate a burrito out of the cafeteria, like I was just not feeling it. I didn't want to throw up on the register or anything. It would have just made things worse. But what she said to me was, oh, so you can go into school, but you can't come to work? At this point, I couldn't drive. My parents weren't home, so I just had to thug that shit out at school. And I tried explaining that to her, but she just wasn't getting it. After I explained it to her, she had this snarky attitude. She was like, okay, got it. All right, bye. I think this lady was like a manager, I'm pretty sure. It's not like I called out sick like 20 times either. Like, please just stay home, bro. I feel like death. I'm about to throw up. But what's crazy is that these managers would be doing the same shit. They would take a lot of days off and they would take long breaks. But next we got to talk about body count. All right. Now, of course, this one favors guys, you know, like if guys have like an extremely high body count, they're seen as a beast. Everybody sees them as a legend in the streets.
With a disease.
But yeah,
walking around
as a guy doing that,
never committing.
But as a girl, people would call you a
shame
hoe and all this other
for
shit.
the
Your
street.
friends would cook you. Say a guy and a girl both had over 300 bodies. They're both hoes. I don't care.
Yeah,
The guy is not
definitely.
A legend. He has
No.
like 50 STDs.
Ew, exactly.
And it's the
And this is the
same
guy who
dudes
like
that-
literally will never commit. He will never be faithful. He doesn't know what love is. He will never know how to love another person. Ew, 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 ew. He's worse than an animal. Animals do it once a year. That like, ew.
be sleeping around that are like, oh,
and for a purpose.
0 bodies, 0 history with other guys, been in 0 relationship. That's not gonna happen nowadays, bro. We're not in the 1950s.
Yeah, not
anymore.
0.
If you're around the age where you want to settle down with somebody seriously, they've definitely been in relationships with other guys before. But next we got money, paper, cheese, whatever the hell you want to call it. If you're a guy, you gotta stack that cheese. Again, this is probably just an online thing, but I've seen videos of people saying like, oh, if you don't make 50K a month, you're broke and no girl's gonna want to date you. But that's not true at all, bro. All you gotta do is be able to provide for your family. That's really it. You don't have to have yachts, mansions, supercars, any of that shit.
Materialistic.
It's nice, but it's just material goods at the end of the day. That shouldn't matter when it comes to your physical connection with another human being. And if somebody really cares about you and money's tight, they will be there for you in that situation. Instead of saying some bullshit like, ugh, ew, you're broke now. Goodbye. And it's always the people that sit on their ass and do nothing that always say shit like that, which is crazy. Like, how are you gonna tell me I gotta make 300K a year when you don't even have a job? That is crazy. But
oh, don't worry. She's bringing herself to the table. Don't forget about that.
Half this video sounded like a an ASMR video. I'm recording
I
this shit
love
at
this
2 a.m.
video.
But as you could tell from this video,
Verdi,
social media
so
has
nice.
caused a lot of problems for dating. You want to find out why? Click on this video. Just do it.
Yeah, so what we learned from this video is the fact that it's not only Gen Z. These standards have been there. It shifted to something else and maybe something worse. And it's getting even worse and worse with the introduction of social media and privacy and anonymity. You know, back in the day, you had to deal with people around you in real life, face to face. Now you have to deal with anonymous people. You don't even know who they are, how they look like, and they pretend they're better than you. And then that's like on thousands of times even worse, like in big numbers, especially if you put your face out there, like on social medias, then yeah, you need to be ready for it. I mean, Birdie's anonymous, and I feel like there is a reason behind it. I don't know if you know how he looks like or anything, but it is much easier to not really put yourself out there and your face out there because you take everything or every single criticism really personally. But yeah, it's not easy, but it is what it is. It's a job sometimes. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. makes you have a tough skin, by the way. It's really important. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and see you in the next one. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any personal opinions about this or anything that you had to deal with in your life as well. Let's see if we can connect, if we can share, and if we have similar things that makes us realize that we're all human at the end of the day. Right? Yeah. See you. Bye.